Welcome back to the 95th episode of the BatChums podcast. I'm Drew Leiter, and joining me tonight is my co-host, the man, the myth, the new legend, Mike Gordon.
Howdy, brrr.
You got
It's
that right.
cold.
It's supposed to be 1 degree here tomorrow. I think Mr. Freeze is in town.
Yeah, I hear we're supposed to get some rough weather too. So exactly we'll see how rough it's gonna get. But yes, Mr. Freeze is in town for sure. Yeah. So
All
but this is the second to last episode of the season, certainly the last story of the season. So we're finally at the tail end of season two. It's been a weird, bumpy trip, but hopefully we go out with like we're skating on ice, Drew.
right. So this is Batman Season 2, Episode 59, Ice Spy. Episode aired Wednesday, March 29th, 1967, directed by Oscar Rudolph and written by Charles Hoffman.
And of course, two guys who are no stranger to the series at all. Oscar Rudolph, I think, has directed more episodes, and Charles Hoffman wrote a whopping 22 episodes of the series, including many this season. But this is the first time he's written Mr. Freeze. Of course, Mr. Freeze has appeared twice before, and each time we see Mr. Freeze, he looks a little different. This is his
Now,
third and I believe final outing on the show, and I think it is a is a somewhat of an anomaly because every time we see this villain, he's played by somebody else. And yeah, so I'm sorry, what you were going to say?
I was just going to say, I think this version of Mr. Freeze lines more closely to the last version we saw than the first version.
It's possible. It's possible. I think there's different interpretations for a role for sure, and we see three times here on this series so far, and it'll be interesting to see how the actor Eli Wallach connects with you on that front. But yeah, I do know that this is one of those instances where it'll be interesting because everybody has their own, I think, because there were three ideas, like when they think of Mr. Freeze, they think of usually one of these three gentlemen playing them, and depending on which one you saw first, I think, or which one you liked best anyway, which one really stands out for you. And I think with George Sanders, we had a great actor who was playing the role, but just didn't quite connect. And then the second time we had a great director who was playing the role, and he didn't quite have the acting, capability to stretch. He was pretty limited that way. Wild. Um, and here we're going to get someone who I think is a happy medium between the two. But we'll see if it works out.
The luxury liner SS Gotham Queen is only hours from Gotham City. The passengers are enjoying a final meal without knowing it could really be their final meal.
Dun, dun, dun.
Captain Carlyle states it's been a great pleasure for him to have dinner with passengers such as Ms. Galatia Glaze, the world famous ice skating star, and an international scientist from Iceland such as Professor Isaacson. Miss
So here we've got we're introduced to Gracia Glaze, who's played by Leslie Parrish. She was born in 1935. She's still with us. And in fact, I don't know. I think she might have been at that event that was celebrating 60 years of Batman with Julie Newmar and everything. Anyway, she's got about 78 acting credits. The last time she acted was 1978. And we've seen her before. I don't know if she seemed familiar to you, but she was in season one. She played the character Dawn Roberts in The Penguins a Jinx. She was in season one. She's no stranger to cartoon adaptations. comic book adaptations, I should say, because she was in the Little Abner movie, 1959. She was also in an episode of Steve Canyon, 1959 as well. Her big movie, I think, her biggest movie was, I think, The Manchurian Candidate. She's in that from 1962, shortly before she does this. And then in 1967, here's that connection again. She was in an episode of Star Trek. That's where I recognize her from. She played the character Carolyn in the story Who Mourns for Adonis. And she's quite distinct and lovely in that. After that, she did a bunch of TV. She's in 3 episodes of Mannix, and then I think towards the end of the career, she actually appears on the Logan's Run TV series from 1977. But then, like I said, she kind of retires from acting in 1978. But she's still around. The other actor is Elijah Cook Jr.,
I recognized him.
who's playing Professor Isaacson. Yeah, you should, because this guy has over 222 acting credits and has been in everything. Like he's really active. And depending on how old you are is how like what you might recognize him from. He was really notable in the original, well, not the original, sorry, but the 1941 Humphrey Bogart movie, The Maltese Falcon, which is a classic, I think, that everybody should see. He's very young in that one. He's also in the film noir classic Phantom Lady from 1944. He's also in the Bogart movie The Big Sleep from 1956. He was in 2 episodes of Dick Tracy, 1950. He was in the movie with Marilyn Monroe, Don't Bother to Knock in 1952. He was in an episode of Adventures of Superman from 1954. He's in an episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents from 1955. He was in the movie, Stanley Kubrick movie, The Killing from 1956. He was in the horror classic House on Haunted Hill with Vincent Price.
Which I've seen before.
Yep, 1959. He actually was in the series I Spy from 1960, which of course this episode is kind of named. The title is inspired by the hit series I Spy, which was going on at the time, from 1965 to 1968, starring Robert Culp and Bill Cosby. Um, and there was an I Spy anthology series hosted by Raymond Massey in the 50s, but I don't think that's what they're referring to. I think they're referring to the current well, at the time, the current series, like I said, with Robert Culp and Cosby. And so he was in an episode of that. He was also in an episode of a classic episode of the original series. So we've got that connection too. We've got 2 actors sitting side by side to each other that were in Star Trek. He was in the episode Court Martial. He played Cogley, the lawyer that represents, I think, Kirk in that one. He's in the classic movie Rosemary's Baby, 1968. He's in the movie The Night Stalker, 1972, the pilot for the Kolchak series. He's in Blackula from 1972. He was in the miniseries Salem's Lot from 1979. He was in an episode of the 86 version of The Twilight Zone. He was even on an episode of Alf in 1988. And he finished his career as a recurring character on Magnum PI. He was on there for 13 episodes, and he played a character, get this, Drew, he played a character named Ice Pick. So yeah, so he is very recognizable for those things and many, many, many more. Very, very gifted actor. And it has shown up in a lot of stuff, and he was very versatile. He shows up as bad guys, he shows up as good guys, he shows like whatever you need him for, he is more than capable of doing. He's a great character actor.
Miss Glaze asked Professor Isaacson about a secret formula. Professor Isaacson answers that to the world it's a secret formula, but to her it's a formula for making instant ice.
Yeah, I guess a pretty face will take you far. I'll just, like I'm not supposed to tell this to anybody, but since you're so beautiful.
Professor Isaacson reveals that he'll be working in an advisory capacity with the Bruce Wayne Foundation. Ms. Gaze admits that it is a coincidence that she'll be opening tonight in an ice revenue that she'll be opening tonight in an ice review at the Bruce Wayne Ice Arena.
Nice.
Suddenly, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Ice, ice, baby.
Suddenly, the captain receives news from one of his crew that there is an iceberg dead ahead just outside Gotham City Harbor. The location of this iceberg isn't the only strange thing about it. Just below the waterline is Mr. Freeze's unique new hideout. Mr. Freeze orders the ice magnets activated. They will pull the ship directly into their iceberg.
So we get introduced to our new Mr. Freeze here, who's played by Eli Wallach, who was around from 1915 to 2014. He has over 174 acting credits, and my God, much like Eli Wallach, if you've probably seen him in a dozen things, if not more. He's really known for doing westerns, especially in the 60s. He's in The Magnificent Seven. He plays the main bad guy there. He's in How the West Was Won from 1962. He's featured probably his best known role is The Good and the Bad and the Ugly from 1966. He plays the ugly, I think. Uh, but understandably, I understand he did this role. Once again, Otto Preminger was not available, conveniently not available. And so they looked around, and Eli Wallach had notified them that he was interested in doing it because his kids wanted him to do it. Because his kids were like, "Hey, Dad, why aren't you going to be on Batman?" And that so because kids were asking all their actor parents why they weren't on Batman. Um, and so he took the role, and he said he had an enjoyable time doing it. From what I understand, he was a joy to work with. Another role that he did to satisfy his kids was he appears in an episode of Captain Kangaroo in 1978. And I think towards the end of his career, he was working up until I think he died. I know one of the last movies he did, but I think he got noticed for was The Godfather Part 3. So he's in a lot of movies and TV shows and everything like that too. Did you recognize him as well?
Not so much, but maybe because of the makeup.
Right, right. It is caked on pretty heavily. And he's got wild hair and wild eyebrows.
At least they're
Uh,
not orange.
yeah, yeah. It's a very different look. They did not try to make, I will say, they haven't, they've done their best not to make each one of these Mr. Freezes look like the other. Because none of these Mr. Freezes, if you put them side by side, they don't look anything like each other. I mean, they're all wearing sort of the gray suit, but that's about it. And they don't, they all sort of have outrageous accents. I think Otto Preminger was actually using his real accent. I don't think he was capable of doing another accent. Um, and Eli Wallach's accent kind of comes and goes as the episode goes on. But he's very much an energetic. He's a lot more energetic than any of the other two Mr. Freezes. I think he was the youngest actor to play Mr. Freeze at this point, so that's probably why. But he's kind of full of life.
I think the one thing I was disappointed in is he didn't have any fire extinguishers on his back.
Yeah, he must have told them he's like, I am not wearing one of those things on my back. So he does explain that the things on his neck around his neck kind of allow him to exist in warm climates because they keep him at a sub-zero temperature. But yeah, there's nothing that they're attached to. There's no tank on the back or anything like that.
Mr. Freeze receives a message from Glacia that stating that Professor Isaacson is at the captain's table in the ship's dining salon. Mr. Freeze claims victory at last. Soon he'll be able to cover the entire world with an instant ice cap. That's your goal, dude, is to cover the earth and ice, huh?
Yep, I guess so. I also want to point out here too that two of his henchmen, Frosty is played by H.M. Wyant, who was born in 1927, who's also still around, and I know for a fact that he was at that convention that Julie Newmar was at a few weeks ago. He had 168 acting credits, and so he's been in a lot of stuff, including he was in the 1950s version of I Spy, um, that anthology series, as well as the 1967 series. He did one episode of both I Spy. So he was in two versions of I Spy and Ice Spy for the Batman show. Um, but he was also in Alfred Hitchcock Presents. He was in an episode of that. Before this, he was in A Twilight Zone 1960, great episode called The Howling Man, which is a really, really good episode of The Twilight Zone. He was in 10 episodes of Perry Mason, a couple episodes of Get Smart, 8 episodes of Gunsmoke, 4 episodes of The Mission Impossible, 2 episodes of $6 Million Man, 2 episodes of Sequest, and one of the last things he appeared in was Sequest, an episode of Sequest 1994. I'm sorry, it was called Sequest 2032. That was made in 1994. Did you watch Sequest?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so he was in an episode of that. The other henchman that's named, he's not really credited, but his name is, I think, Chilbrain. Is that right?
Yeah, I was surprised he wasn't credited.
Yeah. Chilbrain was played by Al Wyatt Sr. So we have a junior and a senior that's in the cast here. Elijah Cook Jr. and this yeah, this guy senior. Um and Al White Sr. was he was a stunt man and an actor as well. And he was around from 1917 to 1992. He also appeared in a lot of things. He has 241 acting and stunt credits. But he also was in Batman. He was in the series before, so we've seen him before. He was a henchman in The Joker is Wild, Batman is Riled from season one. In season two, he was a henchman in Green Ice and Deep Freeze. So this is the second time we've seen a henchman. This is the second time a henchman, the same henchman, has been for the same villain, which we don't see very often. So yeah, he has worked with Mr. Freeze before. He's also in a couple episodes of season three, which we'll get to when we get to. He was in the Batgirl pilot, which we'll get to when we get to it. And he was also in an episode of Star Trek. Again, that connection. He's in an episode of Star Trek from 1967 called The Alternative Factor. So he's in that as well. He's mainly a body double and stuntman in that one, though. So you probably wouldn't recognize him from that. But yeah, he's been around, which is weird because, like I said, he's not credited, but yet he's been part of the Batman show for all 3 seasons in some way, in some small way, usually playing a henchman.
At Wayne Manor in Bruce's study, Batman learns from Commissioner Gordon that the kidnappers disappeared back into the iceberg, and somehow the Gotham Queen was released. Batman tells Commissioner Gordon that they will ride with the wind to the bat poles. While the Batmobile heads towards police headquarters, Mr. Freeze is demanding the secret formula from Professor Isaacson. Professor Isaacson reveals that the formula is not written down. To keep it secret, it is inside his head. Memory is a strange and intangible thing. The professors won't work at Freeze's command. Mr. Freeze shouts for his henchmen, Frosty and Chillblains. Mr. Freeze wants the hideout dismantled. He wants to remove all evidence of ever being here. They will take the professor back to Gotham City and ice him. Mr. Freeze claims that he was Mr. Freeze Mr. Freeze claims he has a chilling scheme by which he will not only gain his ends, but permanently deep freeze the dynamic duo. Saints preserve us! Back at police headquarters, Chief O'Hara claims that it has to be Mr. Freeze behind the kidnapping. Batman agrees. Commissioner Gordon gives Batman the passenger list. The dynamic duo will analyze it back at the Batcave, hoping to find a clue. As the dynamic duo raced to the Batmobile, Chief O'Hara thought it looked as though they were in for a long, cold winter, but now he thinks they are due for a sudden change in the weather. In Mr. Freeze's present hideout, directly under the rink of Bruce
Wait,
Wayne's ice,
doesn't Commissioner Gordon say Bagora there?
does he? I don't remember.
Yeah, he just agrees with Chief O'Hara and is like Bagora.
In Mr. Freeze's present hideout, directly under the rink of Bruce Wayne's ice arena, Mr. Freeze explains that Glacia Mr. Freeze explains to Glacia that Professor Isaacson won't reveal a secret formula, so he's going to freeze it out of him in the quick freezer, which is set to 200 below.
Oh my God.
I know, that's cold. Back at the Bat Cave, the Bat computer goes through the passenger list. One of the names is Emma Strunk. Batman remembers that Emma Strunk changed her name to Glacia Glaze. Holy ice skates! A world-renowned skating queen who booked passage under the name of Emma Strunk in order to avoid publicity. Batman tells his old chum that he has a strange feeling that Glacia Glaze was Mr. Freeze's accomplice on the Gotham Queen.
Yeah, it's a good use here of the Bat computer and Batman's knowledge that are working hand in hand here. The Bat computer doesn't have all the answers, but Batman has some answers on his own, and it does help a lot. So I really like the interplay here with using the Bat computer.
Yeah, because
Apparently, it's working again.
we usually get one or the other.
Exactly.
Batman states that this could be a break they are looking for. Tonight, Bruce Wayne is taking Mrs. Harriet Cooper backstage to meet the dazzling Glacia Glaze before her performance, while Dick Grayson stays at home and works on his essay on glaciers.
Wah, wah.
And he was bummed about that.
Yeah, doesn't get to see the ice show.
At police headquarters, Commissioner Gordon is yelling at Bonnie over the phone that the next time she sends in an unannounced visitor, she better send a tank of water and some live fish along with them. This is silly. Chief O'Hara finds a note attached to the seal's flipper. Suffering icicles. It's a list of demands from Mr. Freeze.
I should point out here too that Mr. Freeze's homing seal is played by Isolde, and this is her only credit. She did these two episodes, and that was it. I think it's a she. I'm pretty sure. But apparently, the seal was quite delightful to work with. I saw some behind the scene interviews with some folks. Leslie Parrish, in particular, liked to hang out with the seal, and it was very friendly. So,
At midnight, millionaire Bruce Wayne, head of the Wayne Foundation, is to make a televised broadcast from this office that the money is ready to be paid. He'll only deal directly with Batman and Robin. They're to be ready at midnight to act as intermediaries. Otherwise, it may be the blackest midnight that Gotham City has ever known.
dun, dun, dun.
Commissioner Gordon calls Batman on the hotline phone, while Chief O'Hara calls Mr. Wayne on the black phone. They put the two phones together so Batman can talk to Bruce Wayne.
So, like I said last episode, and we've mentioned it before, they've done some really fun things with phones in this, but I think this is one of the best.
I have to agree with you. Um Batman, Bruce Wayne, Adam West. That's who I was trying to think of. Adam West does a good job of going back and forth from Batman to Bruce Wayne.
It is so fun to watch him just talk to himself as Batman and Bruce
And
Wayne.
and if you
And
notice, his voice as his voice as Batman is more bold, and his voice as Bruce Wayne is a little softer. I
yeah,
noticed it. I don't know if I've ever noticed it before, but I really noticed it during this conversation. So,
sure, sure. It was yeah, if you close your eyes, I don't think you'd be fooled to thinking it was two different people. But but it is different. So So I do think, but he's just great, and the visual of him, going from one phone to the other phone to the other phone to the other phone is just it's inspiring, and it's like I said, I think this is the best of the phone gags. We've had other good phone gags before, but this one is really, and I think it's all because of Adam is so good here. Just playing against himself and talking to himself that way. It really is delightful.
Batman explains that Robin and he will act as go-betweens. Mr. Wayne will make the telecast at midnight and pay the ransom. Batman suggests that Mr. Wayne tape the broadcast from the commissioner's office an hour earlier. Batman will have a dummy package of money. Batman will meet Mr. Wayne at Commissioner Gordon's office at 11 p.m. After they hang up with Bruce, yeah, after they hang up with Bruce Wayne and Batman, Commissioner Gordon tells Chief O'Hara that they are two fine men, so dissimilar in many respects, and yet so similar in others.
Yeah, they kind of sound the same.
You would have think they would have picked up on that by now, but
Uh, no. You are giving the Gotham police force way too much credit. This show has consistently shown you that they do not deserve that much credit, Drew. And as much as it pains me to say it, yeah, it's not surprising that they don't get it.
backstage at the ice arena, in the dressing room of Glacia Glaze, she contacts Mr. Freeze via her compact communicator, informing Mr. Freeze she is about to perform. Suddenly, Miss Glaze is interrupted by the arrival of Mrs. Cooper and Bruce Wayne. It is nice to meet them both, but things are a little chaotic around here. Mrs. Cooper remarks how lovely Miss Glaze looks and how pretty her dressing room is. Mrs. Mrs. Cooper picks up Galatia's compact, commenting on how darling it is. Mrs. Cooper opens the compact and is surprised to hear a voice shouting, Glacia! Glacia! What happened? Mrs. Cooper immediately puts down the compact. Glacia explains that the compact didn't talk. It's a little music box that she picked up in Switzerland.
She'd
Yeah,
be like, I'd get my
Bruce.
money back because that music sounds awful. Glacia, Glacia. That's what song is that?
I like how they focused on Bruce's face because he was like, was
Yeah,
not fooled.
yeah, yeah. I should also point out here too. No offense to anybody involved, but the rink, the Bruce Wayne Ice Arena. The exterior shot of it is actually the Los Angeles Memorial Sports Arena, which was actually demolished in 2016. But that's what they're using as an exterior shot for Bruce Wayne, who apparently has his own ice arena.
And why not?
I mean, yeah, why not? It's amazing how many things he has named after himself.
Before it can be discussed further, Ms. Glaze excuses herself. She must get out to the wings. Below in Mr. Freeze's hideout, Frosty and Chillblains remove the professor from the deep freeze. He should be stone cold by now, but Mr. Freeze discovers he's not even chilly. The professor remarks that he is an Icelander. A slight drop in temperature makes little difference to him, you frost-bitten baboon.
Minus 200 degrees is not a slight drop in temperature. Sometimes, even when it's like, say 2 degrees, it feels to me like it's minus 200. But yeah, so I noticed that. But it was kind of fun to see him stand up to him like that.
Mr. Freeze promises he is going to get the secret formula out of the professor one way or another. Mr. Freeze asks his henchman to bring him the dry ice projector.
Injector.
Was it
He's
injector?
Yeah, he's going to inject him with
Oh
the
yeah.
dry. He's not going to project that.
Back up in the arena, Ms. Glaze thanks Mrs. Cooper and Bruce Wayne for coming backstage. She hopes they enjoy the show. Mrs. Cooper wants to hurry to their box so that she doesn't miss a minute of the performance. Bruce informs Aunt Harriet that he has to make a call, but will join her shortly. Which I thought this was weird. He tells her he needs to make a call, but then we see him up in the box with her and he receives the call. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, he needs to. Well, he does need to make a call though, because he has to call Robin.
When Bruce receives the telephone call he was expecting, he slips an anti eavesdropping bat plug into the phone just in case. Dick does the same thing on his end of the line.
We should say that Dick does it first.
Yes, that's true, he does. Dick explains that he went down to the Bat Cave, got the remote control. No, not mo. He got the remote Batmobile control phase advancer, went up his bat pole, called a cab, and is now at the phone booth behind police headquarters. Bruce orders Dick to bring the Batmobile into town and have it parked in the alley. There's some red lockers outside of Commissioner Gordon's office. Put the bat clothes there in one of them. Bruce will meet Dick at 10:55 p.m. Alfred will take care of Aunt Harriet. Alfred's been absent this episode.
Yeah, this is I looked at a note and it said that this is the only episode in the first 2 years of Batman that Alan Napier doesn't appear. I don't know if that's true. I need to double check that, but because I know that he was missing from overall in the whole season, he's missing from about 9 episodes. So I don't know if this is the first of many, but I mean, he worked so hard in the last episode, Drew, that we reviewed. So he deserves a vacation.
Yes.
So, but we find out that Alfred's not getting the vacation because he's still got to pick up Aunt Harriet, but Alan Napier did get a vacation.
At
You
11
can't
p.
you can't just have him defeating all the crooks. They've got to leave some for Batman and Robin to defeat.
At 11 p.m., Bruce Wayne records his message to Mr. Freeze. This is Bruce Wayne, Mr. Freeze. We've received your message, and Batman and Robin will make the delivery when, where, how, and if so, advise us. In return, we depend on you to keep your part of the bargain and release Professor Isaacson to the Cape Crusaders. Good evening. After the taping, Bruce Wayne wonders where Batman is. Chief O'Hara states he was probably delayed in traffic. You can always depend on the Cape Crusader. Bruce and Dick decide to leave since their part of the caper is finished and it is getting late. Bruce asks Commissioner Gordon to let them know what happens. The Cape Crusaders arrive at police headquarters. Batman asks where Mr. Wayne is. Commissioner Gordon states he just left. It's strange that he didn't bump into him in the hall.
Should also mention that, and I noticed it too, but Commissioner Gordon notices, I mean, we Gordon stick together, right? Mentioned that that Bruce seems really curt with Commissioner Gordon, and he seems kind of like, I can't just wait around for Batman. He said he'd be here, and he acts like he's really, and I'm not sure exactly what he's doing there, but it was an interesting choice. And that Commissioner Gordon noticed it as well. He's like, wow, he didn't seem like himself. And Chief Commissioner says, oh, it's just the pressure or whatever. But yeah, it was a weird thing.
When the commissioner called earlier, he mentioned something about a ransom note being delivered by a seal. Batman gives Commissioner Gordon a small echoing seal pulsator. Batman thinks it'll come in handy later. Not in this episode. Batman and Robin grab the dummy money and go to the window. They are going to use the bat ropes to get to the Batmobile that is parked in the alley. Apparently, climbing down the bat ropes quicker than just going down the stairs. I don't know.
Well, you can't get a cameo if you go down the stairs, Drew.
That is true. Batman and Robin are climbing down the side of the building when a man pops his head out, wondering what goes on around here. Batman tells the citizen to be calm, but the man exclaims he is no citizen. He's from London for a He's here from London for a manufacturers convention. Robin asks the man if he is a king. Batman corrects Robin, stating that England has no king right now. England has a queen, and a great lady she is too. The man replies that the lad is right. Sometimes He's called the Carpet King. Holy floor covering! Speaking of floors, Batman thinks they should be dropping down a few more right now. Good evening, sir. The Carpet King replies that they have a the Carpet King replies that they have second story men in England, but this is ridiculous.
So the window cameo is Cyril Lord, quote unquote, the Carpet King. Uh, do you have any idea who Cyril Lord,
No,
the
I
Carpet King
had
is?
no idea who this guy was.
So I get a feeling that this is probably the most obscure uh, character or person that's ever appeared in a cameo because I think we mentioned a couple of other people before that were uh, newspaper columnists or whatever, but and certain actors or whatever. But this one is really, really. Um, I mean, he was a famous carpet salesman in Los Angeles, and outside of Southern California you probably wouldn't know who he was. And because I guess he appeared on ads there too. But yeah, this was probably a paid a paid deal where Cyril Lord either paid them directly or offered them carpets or something because yeah, there's no reason that with with stars and like can't like celebrities begging to be on the show, it does seem odd that they are that they put in a guy who won't be known outside of Southern California.
I
So,
read that William Dozer bought carpets from this guy.
well, there you go. There you go. So, so I guess it was a carpet bribe to be on the show. So yeah, he's there hawking his carpets, and good for him. But for the rest of us, we're just like, it just seems like a paid endorsement.
Back in Mr. Freeze's hideout underneath the ice arena, Mr. Freeze orders Frosty and Chillblains to put the professor back in the quick freezer. With his veins full of dry ice, something may happen. Glacia returns to Mr. Freeze's hideout, stating that the audience just wouldn't let her go, but she had to get back here with Mr. Freeze at midnight to watch millionaire Bruce Wayne's broadcast. Mr. Freeze, Glacia, Frosty, and Chillblain gather around the TV set to watch Bruce Wayne's broadcast. Batman and Robin sneak in the door and announce they are making the delivery right now. Mr. Freeze wonders how Batman and Robin found him. He hadn't called Mr. He hadn't called Commissioner Gordon yet. Batman gives Mr. Freeze the money. It's phony, cries Mr. Freeze. Just as phony as you are, Mr. Freeze, Batman replies. Mr. Freeze asks his, Mr. Freeze asks for his freeze gun, but still no fire extinguishers.
Yeah, well, but it also uh it makes me wonder too. I'm like, why did they go even get the funny money, I guess, and deliver it? Because it's I mean, he's going to know it's phony right off the bat. It's really pointless. If Batman and Robin just showed up and then started like, fighting them, that would be the same thing. So,
Who knows? Mr. Freeze asks for his freeze gun, but is useless thanks to the super thermalized bat skivvies they are wearing. Mr. Freeze shouts for his Icemen to attack. A fight ensues. During the fight, Mr. Freeze orders his Icemen to toss Batman and Robin into the vaporizing, transparent pipe pump. First, they get Robin in there, and then Batman. Mr. Freeze tells Galatia that all he has to do is turn on the sub-zero temperature gauge, and when they've cooled down a little, Mr. Freeze will activate the vaporizing pipe pump and evaporate the Cape double crossers directly under the ice of Bruce Wayne's ice arena. Galatia will be able to do her famous waltzing arabesques directly on Batman and Robin.
nice.
Behold, they are beginning to frost up already. What fiendish freezing isometric exercise is this? Is it the isolated end of the dynamic duo? Have they concluded their refrigerated cycle to be vaporized and become part of Bruce Wayne's ice ring? Stay frozen to your furniture. Tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel.
Well done. It's a yeah, and overall it's a fun Mr. Freeze episode. I think once you get over the shock of there being a different Mr. Freeze, you just kind of roll with it. It certainly moves along pretty quickly. It's got some fun moments. Like I said, that phone bit with Bruce Wayne and Batman will probably be in the top 10 scenes. Like if I pick for the series, I think it's one of the best things they've done. So even though we keep hearing that, oh man, it really goes downhill starting the second season. I haven't noticed a huge drop in quality yet, because there are still really cool moments like that. So I mean, we've certainly mentioned that the second season has been inconsistent, but overall, there's been some amazing moments, and here we are at the end of the second season, and like I said, I found this story riveting.
Yeah, I liked it as well. And I got to say, during that fight scene, we went from two henchmen to quadrupling. I mean, they were just coming out of the woodwork.
The ice work, Drew, the ice work.
Nice work.
So fun stuff.
All right. Well, that wraps up another episode. Do you have a shout out, Mike?
I do. It's a new year, 2026, but there will be, as far as we know, there is scheduled to be a Dragon Con event happening on Labor Day weekend in 2026. And so we will be recording once again another season of the Dragon Con Report. So you can get used to it and find out all the information that you need and help prepare and have fun with it. Keep Dragon Con in your heart all year long. Like we used to, like we like to say that on the podcast. And yeah, we've just recorded as you're listening to this. The first episode has been recorded and is released and out there now. And we'll probably be about to do the second one, if I'm not mistaken, depending on when this airs. So yeah, we're going to do one a month leading up to the big event. And Jen and Channing and myself are back to help out. We've got some really fun topics to take us along the way. So check out the Dragon Con Report. You can do that on YouTube and at the ESO Network, the podcast wise as well.
Even if you've never been to Dragon Con, I've listened to the podcast multiple times, and
Well,
you
thank you.
always get interesting information from it. So even if you have no plans to go to Dragon Con whatsoever, if you want to learn about conventions and stuff, that's a good show to listen to.
Why, thank you. That's awesome to hear. I do appreciate that. We frequently hear from people who attend Dragon Con and how useful it is and how much they really appreciate the show. But yeah, I don't usually hear from people who don't go to Dragon Con about it. So I appreciate that point of view as well.
All right, and for my shout out, I'm going to shout out about Batman 66 Volume 1, Issue Number 2, a comic book. It's called The Sub-Zero for Our Heroes. Um so the when was this? October 2013 is when this issue came out, and they were doing a Batman 66 comic book series at this time. And I specifically remember reading this issue with Mr. Freeze and Penguin because they worked together to create Penguinia.
Ah,
And what made me think of this comic book issue is there's a iceberg that obstructs passage to the into Gotham Harbor. So the episode we watched tonight made me think of this comic book, and I haven't read this for I don't know how many years. It was probably before 2020 when I read it, Mike. And I guess it had such an impact on me that I remembered it watching this episode.
yeah, I've yeah, we'll get to talking about the Batman 66 comics, I think, in a little while, but get around to those because there's some really good stuff. And yes, a team up between the Mr. Freeze and the Penguin seems like it just is made for a good story, right? So
Yes.
I will say that the artwork, they did take the Mr. Freeze, the Otto Preminger Mr. Freeze, I think, for the artwork on this one. Not so much the Mr. Freeze, Eli Wallach Mr. Freeze.
Yes. And looking at the cover, I do not see fire extinguishers on Mr. Freeze's back. I'm disappointed.
Apparently, they're a pain to draw as much as a pain to wear.
All right. If you'd like to comment on anything we've talked about tonight, you can reach us at our feedback line 317-455-8411. Text us, leave us a message, or you can email us at batchumspodcast@gmail.com. You can let us know who your favorite Mr. Freeze is. All right, you ready to get out of here, Bat Chum?
BatChums ready to move out.
Atomic batteries to power, turbines to speed. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Don't worry, the final episode of season 2 is yet to come. Stay warm.